Richard, how do you want to position Lovin Dubai, Augustus Media, and Smashi in the media market today?
I know of some media companies like cinema brands who lost so much money that they had to shut down. Media brands have to be disciplined.
You started back in 2015 when social media was not a social media.
Why do you say that?
Top 3 movies or series people need to watch to know how media industry works. Media companies don't make money. How easy is it to make a profitable business in today's time?
It's not easy to make a profitable media business, but
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? I hope you guys are doing well and having a great time. So, today we have a very special guest, the man, the myth, the legend, Richard Fitzgerald on the podcast, founder and CEO of Augustus Media, and he have built brands like Lovin Dubai, Smashi Business, and ODM. Welcome to the podcast, brother.
thanks, Junaid. Thanks for having me on. We've been talking about this for a while, so glad that we could do it in Bridge Summit in Abu Dhabi. Delighted to be here, end of the year. It's very exciting time to be in media in the region. We just announced an acquisition of Up 10 Media here this morning on the MOU stage, and the team in Abu Dhabi are doing amazing, and I'm really happy to be here.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So, Richard, before starting the podcast, just a quick intro about the podcast which we are going to speak. We'll be focusing about how you have built what you have done today. So things like Love in Dubai, which everyone in Dubai know. Whatever the news we want to know, we come to your platform. Same goes with Smashi. Smashi is something, if I want to learn about business, if I want to get updates about Smashi, that's something incredible which you have built, right? So what's your story? Who is Richard?
I guess I'm just someone in the content create space. I'm from Ireland. I moved to Dubai in 2012. I was living in London, and I had sort of started a career in social media. And I guess, I was running teams eventually as I grew my career, managing client service and figuring out the evolving media consumption from a brand and marketing point of view. But yeah, I'm a husband. I'm a dad of late, and yeah, that's me. I like sports. I like the region. I like the religion of the region, the culture. I like the opportunities of emerging markets, and yeah, that's me.
Got it. You know, I have been seeing a lot of your content with your family, your baby and your wife. So how does it feel to be a father today?
It's something, Junaid, that I didn't expect. I really had my head down for the last 10 years, and I didn't realize what I was missing. It's
Right.
such a blessing, and I just have a glow for the last few months. It's just such a nice feeling. I know all new mums and dads go on about it a lot, but it is everything they say. It's amazing, and our baby, alhamdulillah, is healthy. She's safe, she's happy, she's cute, and yeah, we're feeling good about things.
So you are enjoying the parenting process.
Yeah, it's a process. Yeah.
Right. So, Richard, let's get back to you. Since you mentioned that you are from Ireland, then you were in London, then you came to UAE, right? So, what have you learned in the corporate field? What were the things you felt like, okay, this is the thing I have learned right now, I have to start something of my own?
I think I had that burning desire to do something myself, and I didn't know what it would be. I felt like you needed a new, fresh idea because I felt like it was so hard, not just to replace the salary, but to put in place the operational systems that you feel are barriers that companies have. You're like, oh, this company has an address, a license, it has bills, it has HR, it has all this stuff, and you're like, oh, I can't do all that, And how do they do all that? But actually, uh, it can happen quite easily. So I used to have many ideas. I used to have many moments where I'd meet people looking for co-founders, many restful nights, many jotting down notes about what a real-time agency should be, what's the next thing after a social media agency. So much pent up frustration, and then almost channeled into, oh, it's okay, you're doing well, climb the corporate ladder, keep going within WPP, get promoted, keep working your way up, be an entrepreneur. You have your own SBU, small business unit. You have your own team. You're recognized for growth. That you put on leadership courses. You have access to a network. How bad is it? And I think then the crux came when I was regional head of social, reporting into 12 MDs, but I wasn't given an MD role. So then I took an MD role with a smaller company, and at the same time, I started up the license Augustus Media for Lovin Dubai. And after 6 months of doing both, I realized that was unsustainable.
Right.
Because I was MD of a startup as a day job, and I'd hired, senior editor and social media person on the side, and that was something that wasn't sustainable, quite stressful to manage both. Even though credit to Astrolabs and DMCC, it wasn't that hard to set up the business. It was hard to make the business profitable.
Got it. You started back in 2015,
Correct.
right? When social media was not a social media.
Yeah. Why do you say that?
Because that was the initial I coming from India, there was no social media until 2017 after Geo came into the market, right? So there were quite of less people who were using social media.
Facebook?
Facebook was there, but to a certain level of people that was within the age of 30 to 40. Young people were not using social media. But when Geo came into the market, every individual had internet, every individual had smartphone. And that was the rise of internet in India. So understanding that, I'm not sure about UAE, how was the market at that time?
Economically, it was sort of, property prices were at the last high, and then it was going through a sort of a 5-year slowdown. Oil prices were a bit low. The economy was good, but it wasn't as good as it is now.
Right.
The smart TV phone penetration and internet penetration was good. People were on social media. I felt when I came here in 2012 that social media was big. There was the My Dubai hashtag in about 2014, and that was a lot on social media, on Instagram. That was the real start of Instagram. Obviously, we were on, Web 2.0 since 2004 to 2005. YouTube was quite big in the region, in Saudi particularly. The hit shows in Saudi are sort of 2010 onwards, like Telfaz were starting around those times, and other companies. So there was social media. I was hired to run a social media department. All our clients were on social media. We were setting up pages and everything on all those channels at that time. So the market was there, but I don't think all brands were on it, and I don't think all publishers were on it that much.
Got it. Okay, Richard, how do you want to position Lovin Dubai, Augustus Media, and Smashi in the media market today?
That's a nice question. We work hard at our position, and we repeat the phrasing a lot. So Augustus Media is positioned as a modern media company, slash between a publisher and a broadcaster across text, audio, and video. Our mission is to become the modern media company of the Middle East and North Africa, meaning we'd like consumers and brands to choose our platforms. We'll do it through this region, through digital, and through our own IP, our own content, and our own brands. And Augustus Media is basically a house of brands.
Right.
We have Lovin and Smashi as the two core consumer brands. Lovin is a horizontal city brand. So we don't do Lovin Food, Lovin Sports. We keep it as Lovin Dubai, Lovin Abu Dhabi, Lovin Dammam, Lovin Riyadh, Lovin Alula, Lovin Palestine, Lovin Beirut, Lovin Baghdad, Lovin Cairo. There's 22 Lovins.
Okay.
And under that, meaning horizontal, you can do food and travel and content and local celebrities within that platform.
So is it called Lovin XYZ Celebrity, or how is it?
No, so basically, the Lovin is only called the city or the place name, but that's the horizontal. So underneath Lovin Dubai, you can cover food, traffic, celebs, finance, sports.
Right.
But we don't dilute that brand in that way. And then Smashi is a vertical-based brand. The media lens for Lovin is Lovin Life, YOLO. We talk about adulting, getting out of bed, being tough on a Monday morning. We talk about FOMO. We talk about things like this. It's a mindset brand. Whereas Smashi is also a mindset brand, but the mindset is for the driven, the dreamers, and doers, reaching people like you, Junaid. But, media brands have to be disciplines. They have
True.
to have a voice. But humans can dip in and out. We can one day watch an inspiring movie and another day watch an escapism piece of comedy, and that's okay. But media brands need to be clear, and they can't be confused in how they speak. So Smashi, has 13 verticals, and the ones that we focus on are Smashi Business, Smashi Sports, and Smashi Entertainment. And it's very much across text, audio, and video. People will know social media, and we don't shy away from that. We're proud
Right.
that we're good at social media, but we've got 25 websites. We have 35 podcasts. We have all our apps and you can download the Smashi TV app on LG, on, all the different Samsung devices. We have announcements coming up about where Lovin Dubai TV will be in terms of streaming very soon. So, they are sub brands underneath the Lovin and Smashi brand. So the Lovin Dubai is a sub brand, and then separately adjacent business is the sort of content studio, which is Odium, which is what we announced. Continued growth of that today with the acquisition.
Okay, Odium is another set of business which you're having apart from this.
Yeah, so
platform.
Lovin and Smashi are both consumer media brands, whereas Odium is like a separate agency,
Got it.
but designed, as the evolution of social media agencies. It's basically a social media production house, a content studio, and it's playing to our strengths. It's a mix between a social media agency and a production house, and we do the sort of services that we do on Lovin and Smashi for clients. We do it on their own pages as well.
Got it. You know what different you did strategically to become such a huge brand?
No, I a lot of credit to the Love in Dublin and the original brand of getting that tone and look and feel right. I think we were good custodians. I think we adapted Love in Dubai at the right time. We protected the brand. We looked after it. We didn't give up. But we didn't do anything huge at any given time. We just did lots of small things all the time. I think we recognized we were a media company, and we decided to go wide, not deep.
Yeah.
Meaning, we didn't say Love in Dubai needs to have a voucher-based
Right.
like entertainer. Our Love in Dubai doesn't need to be a Dubizzle. Our Love in Dubai doesn't need to go into this. We decided to go wide as Lovin across the region, and we localized Lovin in each city that we went to. So all our team are from where they're based.
Got
And this is a key strategic move because I think pan-Arab media is almost impossible to do. Like Arabic is not one language.
Right.
It's very, very rare that you see Egyptian, Syrian, and Saudi actors in the same show. They sometimes come up, but largely the production and content in each country is synonymous to that country and to that audience.
True.
Sure, people can consume, but imagine being in Europe and talking about an influencer in Berlin and the next day in Essex. There are different audiences going to consume this stuff. The Danish league is different to the Premier League. So I think pan-Arab media is very hard to do. There's a well-known Bahraini singer. Is she going to be as relevant to an Egyptian audience or a Lebanese audience? No. The Lebanese audience want to consume content about Alisa or Maya Diab or whatever. In UAE, they want to hear about Hussein Al-Jasmi. In Saudi, it's someone else. So same in Egypt. So I think when you try and do pan-Arab, and then we're not even talking about North Africa, right? Like when we're talking about all these different countries, right? So a common denominator could be English, but I think it's also the stories and the people. So I think that's one strategic move about pan-Arab media. Do we nail it? No. Are we as big in every other market? No, but I think it's one strategic move.
Got it. You have done two things here. One thing is niching down, second thing is scaling, right? So people say that if you want to scale, you need to niche it down. So what do you have to say on this?
By being niche, you can scale?
By being niche, we can scale, but if you don't niche or if you create general content, it's very difficult to niche.
Yeah.
Scale.
Yeah, the trend now, the advice around media now is to be more niche, to get better communities. So if you do an industry podcast or an industry newsletter, or if you focus on a certain city or a certain topic, being niche is better. You can build a closer community. But it depends like kind of what you mean by scale as well, because in a digital world, we're always, we're taught about zero sum games and go big or go home, or raise a load of money and dominate the market. But that's not always the case, and I think some media companies have come in with splashy big events and with splashy big shows and things like that. And I think when media is so fragmented and when the region is so difficult to navigate on many levels, then why is one big bet on the table going to be a clear winner? So I prefer to sort of go big enough, but also leave room for a little bit of failing and adapting. We've been in Saudi Arabia since 2017, the first foreign-owned media company there, and we've got licenses. And I know of some media companies like cinema brands who lost so much money that they had to shut down. But because we didn't lose so much money, we lost some money in 2017 to 2021. 2022 was profitable. Alhamdulillah, and 2023 was profitable. 2024 was loss. 2025 we'll break even. So overall, it's probably a little bit down. But we have a very nice team. We have a lot of social assets. We have lots of success. There's lots of momentum. And when you're building something for the long term, wanting to be along for tens and decades, for 20, 30, 40, 50 years,
Right.
then scale comes over that period of time just by repetition. So I am building scale, but I'm doing it without the zero sum all in. And some media companies, I think, there's a company like us in the US, it's well known, like BuzzFeed. They raised money at $1.7 billion valuation and went public with a SPAC at $1.5 billion. Now they're valued at less than, tens of millions of dollars, so, much less than they went public for. And because they raised so much money, you had to justify that. So they had to justify originals and IP, and that ate up more and more money. And even though they were making a lot more money than us, hundreds of millions of dollars a year, they were losing money.
True.
So I think, it depends what you want to do. Like, do you want to be scale by losing money, or do you want to be profitable and get scale over time?
I was 17 when I wanted to become a journalist. And a common misconception that was put into my mind was media companies don't make money, or it is built based on narratives, advertising, and all those things. But I have seen your brand being a profitable business, as you mentioned, right? So how easy is it to make a profitable business in today's time?
It's not easy to make a profitable media business, but every sector is difficult. I know chefs who say never open a restaurant.
Right.
Like, you can't make margins in food. Staff costs a lot, visa costs, licenses, and everything. In Ireland, you can't get the staff. I was in South of France this summer, and someone from the region who has a big hospitality company said he's not opening there because you can't make it profitable. So I think you hear different things all the time. But we see lots of content creators, podcasts making money. But are they media companies, and do they want to be known as media companies? So I think it's possible. Do I have the secret sauce, and could I do it every time I try? No. Like I said, some of our Lovin offices still aren't profitable, and some of our Lovin brands aren't profitable. I don't know if Smashi directly is profitable all in. I think a lot of the stuff that we did on the tech side of streaming hasn't been profitable. Again, alhamdulillah, we've been able to be profitable through Smashi because we had big Snapchat shows that we made a lot of revenue from. And now, like, Smashi business is profitable and things like this. But, if I didn't have the luxury of having a profitable media business that's well run, I would have had to shut down those things earlier. But again, I didn't put a ton of money into them. I tried to find synergies, and I tried to sort of grow within.
Did you feel in last 10 years, did you started something and shut down in like a couple of time?
I never shut them down fully. I always sort of pivoted or adjusted, like logos, names, social media handles, websites. We changed the Lovin Saudi Bilarabi logo 3 times colors. We set up Lovin Riyadh in English. Like we changed Lovin Sharqiya to Lovin Dammam. We went live with Lovin Cairo in English and Arabic. We went back to English only. We went back to English and Arabic. You know, all the time there's lots of adjustments. We opened with a JV in Pakistan. It didn't work. We then are still in the process of recreating that brand as Lovin Karachi, and as well, instead of Lovin Islu, we launched Lovin Khartoum with a JV, and we don't have that license there now. We launched Lovin Palestine before October 7th, and alhamdulillah, we still have our 2 employees in Gaza, and backed up and supported obviously by the team in Egypt, the Palestinian journalists in our team in Egypt as well. But so a lot of these things, like I remember being in Beirut in 2018 with a business plan for the digital district there, and then not pulling the trigger, or not the right use of phrase, but not going with it at that time. And then into 2019, then there was the sort of October sort of revolution, and then the Beirut blast in 2020, and then the pandemic, and then we opened an office in Cairo in 2021. So there's many things like Odium. Odium has gone through different iterations, from content studio to full service social agency, and we're just adapting with the needs of the market and the times. We play around with languages, we look at stuff. Yeah.
Got it. Richard, you as well-known figure in the media, what do you think what's missing in the market currently, which we need to bring in?
Yeah, I think there's not a whole lot missing, right? Like, we have our own versions of things. I think conferences like this, wider ecosystem, more investment. I think, it would be good if we saw more marketing investment in digital media formats like podcasts, like CTV, like streaming. I think if more of the investments were to regional companies, I think you'd see a lot more flourishing industry. My estimation is 4 billion out of 6 billion digital ad spend leaves the region. It goes to Meta, ByteDance, and Google. And I think if we had bigger media companies in the region, like we did in the past, when I moved here first, NBC were making more money than all those above. Facebook were not making $1 billion a year in 2012 anywhere, I don't think. But definitely not on mobile. So when you have NBC, and even back then Rotana, SRMG, Dubai Media, and all the regional media companies like in Lebanon and things like this, then when you have a lot of revenue in that, you have room for creativity to tell local stories, to innovate. You also have prominent leaders and people to come out and speak about the region.
Right.
Now, there are good people speaking here about the region and in our media forum in Dubai, and the conference that's here as well, the Global Media Summit in Abu Dhabi, and then elsewhere. So we do have some speakers, but I think you need big media companies. Like we see Stars Play here. There's a few others, Shahid, are doing well, and things like that.
Richard, before we come to the last segment of the podcast, I have a quick questions with regard to AI. AI is leading the market right now. What's the new innovation do you think which will come in the industry right now?
Yeah, I think, I was asked this question earlier. I think AI is an enabler for us. Like we've been able to automate production of our futsal, volleyball, handball, basketball, football, with AI cameras up and down the pitch. Like we'll do AI highlights, we'll do AI commentary. All our podcasts have versions of cloned voices and AI with 11 Labs software. We do so much AI. The basic stuff of ChatGPT and HeyGen and captions on cameras and stuff like that. Like there's just so much as well, So, but I think there's loads of different formats.
Got it.
But I think we don't need to sort of, I could be wrong, but I don't think we need to do 360 head turn when something changes, because by saying we're text, audio, and video, and that we're platform agnostic, we will be with podcasts, we will be on Substack, we will be on newsletters. We will be on streaming services. We will be on fast channels. Like we will be in these places, and one will do better than the other at that time. But yeah,
Got it. Richard, that was great speaking to you. Thank you so much. One question: who is your favorite character in movies or series?
that's a nice question. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm gonna. You know what? We always have. I always try and look for regional samples and examples. I don't know if I have a favorite character per se, but
Who you want to become like in
yeah,
media industry, like media movies or series, something like that.
yeah. Uh, the classic old one. I know there's a lot of merger and acquisition at the moment with Netflix globally, and everyone's talking about it in the US. Ted Sarandis is the content guy at Netflix, and apparently in his home he has an ornament from the Citizen Kane movie, Rosebud. So Citizen Kane movie is a very old movie.
Right.
It's like about 80 years old.
Wow.
And it's done based on William Randolph Hearst. No, I could be wrong. Hang on. Not Hearst. Let me get it for you. Yes, William Randolph Hearst. And he became a little bit of a recluse in the end, but this sort of media mogul idea, and I'm not ashamed to say it because I don't think it's a negative thing. I think you have to be aspirational in some way.
True.
So yeah, and yeah, just to do that in a way that's in the emerging markets and things like that. But yeah,
True. And last question: top three movies or series. Let's mix up series and movies both together. People need to watch to know how media industry works.
the media industry works. There's a two series about 10 years ago called there's Newsroom, there's Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. I'm probably missing classic ones. Well, Mad Men is advertising. There's a few good shows about how Fox News was run badly under Roger Ailes as well. Obviously, Succession, the classic, the one that kind of caught the cultural zeitgeist. It's all that Rupert Murdoch thing. Yeah, if you want to know about that, then watch Succession.
Of course, I will.
Yeah.
All right, Richard, one last message for the people who are watching this podcast and who want to get into media industry.
Yeah. Just go for it. I wouldn't say if you want a simple rule book, pick something that you love, whether it's football or food, and then pick a platform that you have a little bit of an idea of, whether it's social media shorts, whether it's writing on. If you're a writer, if you're not semi-dyslexic like I am, open up a Substack. Or if you're like you, interested to talk to interesting people, get the mic out and host your stuff on Podio. Use Bit as the software to use it. Book your studios with Podster and Podex. And is there any other company I invested in that I want to plug?
All right, Richard, that was great speaking to you. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thanks so much. And yeah, looking forward to chatting soon.